Morning folks. It's a bit windy today, a bit windy, a bit blustery. Off for my Wednesday walk with you. It is Wednesday today, isn't it? I'm kind of losing track of time. Losing track of time and kind of the will to do things at the minute. If you are followers of, oh god, it's blustery. If you're the followers of the Blonde Bleeding the Blonde with me and Ross, we had a bit of a technical issue yesterday, so hopefully we'll get it up today. We were both a bit, another day. But I'm going to turn you around so you can see the walk. Right, back again. It definitely dropped. It's really, really blustery here. You probably can't see it from the walk, but it is pretty wild. So I won't stay on for long. Just enough for you to get a little countryside fix. I hope it's. I hope Boris's announcement has filled you up with positivity for getting out of lockdown. It's been a really hard year, hasn't it? Really hard year. So we're going to cut across that field in a sec. Hi Fiona. I think I'm roundabout on time. I think I normally try and do a walk roundabout now. As it's getting lighter, I'll be going out earlier. I mean, my ideal time to walk the dogs is about 6:30, 7 in the summer. Sometimes if it's really bright and I'm up, then it's earlier. So as soon as it's light enough for me to get across the fields is when I come out. So just to give you bearings, down there is the way to the copse. The dogs are standing there going, which way we're going today, Mum? Which way we're going? We have come from over here. We've come the other side of those trees in a bit. And then we're about to go over this field. This is where I quite often see the deer. Come on dogs, this way. Go on, off you go. Dante. This is a bit clarty, as I say, in my tongue. Plunging in the clots. There we go. So it's a bit icky underfoot, but not as bad as I believe it is down south. And I've heard that Peterborough is really shocking at the minute with the flooding. I don't know if you can hear it, it's like squelch, squelch, squelch. I'm just checking the field to make sure there's no deer on the field. They're normally hanging about on here somewhere, but it's probably too late for them now. Come on, boys. Just letting them have a little run. Good boy, Spud. And I don't know if you can hear the waterfall in the copse. It's really, I can hear it, it's really loud. Let's just swap hands. Hey, good boys. Dante, leave that. What did you have? Watch his face. What did you have? What were you eating? Are you disgusting? What were you eating? Are you disgusting? Yes, you are. You disgusting dog. Go on, off you go. Got no idea what he was eating, but he looked as if he had his nose on something. So from a really young age, I teach the dogs no, as anybody who knows me will know. It's becoming more and more fashionable not to teach your dogs no. And people say, oh, you know, it doesn't mean anything. No, it doesn't mean anything to a dog, and it doesn't mean anything to a dog until it's taught. And so you have to spud. You have to teach. The first things I teach is yes and no. I want my dogs to know when they're getting it right, but also I want them to know when they're getting it wrong or that it's unacceptable. And then I add leave it to it as well, which is what I just did with Dante. I told him to get his nose off whatever it was. It was either deer poo or hopefully it wouldn't have been fox poo, which was Angus's and Bart's speciality. So I'd take Bart and Angus out, and Bart had a thing about cat poo, actually dogs took in, and he would go off and dig up cat poo. He was disgusting dogs. Why do we have these animals sharing our home when they're so disgusting? But we'd go on then, off you go. We'd go for a walk and we'd go into a field with a sheep, and I would know straight away if there was like cows or anything in the field. And Bart and Angus had developed this thing of divide and conquer, and so we'd go into a field and I'd let them go, and Bart would go one way and Angus would go the other, and Angus would go to rule in it and Bart would go to eat it. And it was quite funny really watching them. They'd learned how to divide and conquer kind of thing. It was very funny what they did. But some exciting news is I'll be getting a wee puppy at some point soon. 4 weeks old at the minute, and very excited about bringing him home. Young Emrys is what he's going to be called, and it's just so, I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of a waterfall down there. So I've been tightening up the stuff that I'm doing with the dogs. You know, we get a bit sloppy once we've trained with dogs, and we get into the habit of just letting them half go on their bed when you tell them to go on their bed and things like that. Go on then, Spud. And so I'm taking the time at the minute. I'm counting down the weeks now to him coming home. It'll be roughly 4 weeks. So I'm counting down the time for Emrys coming home, and I'm making the most of it with my current dogs. I nearly called him Ziggy there, with Dante and Spud, to make sure that I'm really on top of my training. So I've been doing some dummy work with them both and some whistle work with them. I've started wearing my whistle again on my walks just to really sharpen up any whistle work that I do on walks. Sarah's a black lab, little black lab that I'm getting, little Emrys. And so I'm really taking this time now to prepare for my puppy, because the last thing I want is when I bring my puppy home is to have some habits that have crept in with my older dogs. So they'll teach the puppy, because dogs learn by copying, and they learn what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in the pack by the existing pack. And so we just deal with this little poo that Spud's having. And so it's important that if you're going to bring home a new pack member, that right, that's that done. It's important when you bring home a new pack member that the pack they're coming into are behaving the way that you want them to behave. And so I'm just going through and I'm checking everything myself. I'm just being a little bit mindful. You can hear the waterfall over there. Just being a bit mindful with the current dogs and saying, am I really happy with all of their behaviour? Is their whistle sit sharp enough? is their recall sharp enough? Because I can guarantee if it's not, then when I bring little Emrys home, he's going to be copying them. Even though he will be unrestricted access to the big boys. Let me just zoom in for you. Even though he'll be unrestricted access to the big boys for the first couple of weeks, he will still be looking to them on how to behave, because they're the same species. They talk the same language. And although, go on Dante, we do everything we can to learn how our dogs communicate and watch out for body language and, you know, facial expressions and how their tails move, how their ears move, any little frowns on their faces and so on. At the end of the day, their nuances of behaviour are amazing. And you know, the way they communicate is so subtle, and it's just little things like wait forward, wait back, and because they use so much of their body for communicating as well, you know, like the tiny little bits of the end of that tail can give a little wiggle, and you know, you can have like the little nuances of that ears moving. They'll communicate much better with each other than we could ever want to or be able to consider communicating with them. And so I want to make sure these are absolutely spot on before young Emrys comes home. And then it'll be really good. So I'll be preparing my head. I'll be getting my head in the right space for puppy arriving. Dante's the youngest in the family, and he'll be 7 in April. So it's been a long time since I've had a puppy. And okay, so that's the field we went across. So just give you some bearings. We went up there and then out at the trees up there. So it's been ages since I've had a puppy, so I'm going to have to do a bit of reading. I'm going to get the Pet Gun Dog puppy book out, and that was a shameless bit of advertising, I know. But I am going to get the Pet Gun Dog puppy out, and I'm going to start reading again, and I'm going to be looking at the videos, and I'm going to be doing a diary on him on Facebook, so you can see some real-time training of my puppy as well, which will be lovely. Haven't got my whistle. My mouth's too dry. Dogs with me. Good boys. Good boy. Go on then, off you go. Whoops. Don't trip me up, Dante. Don't trip me up. Don't trip me up. Go on, off you go. So there's no real signs of spring. One of the walks that I do on a Sunday morning with Maura, who's in my bubble, you know, we've got my son and his girlfriend are in my bubble, and I do a walk with her, and there's snowdrops out on that, but there's no snowdrops out on here yet, although the front garden is starting to burst with new life. Got all these little I think that crocus is coming up, and snowdrops coming up in the garden, which is lovely. And then the tulips will come up. So I'll get some photos of the dogs sitting in them once they've got some bloom on them. But this will be, fingers crossed, Scotland will be kind to us this weekend. But we'll get in the garden, cut back the Hebes, ready to get them growing over the next month or so. And so we're almost back to the top fields that I've cut across. So I'm gonna, there's normally a pheasant over here. Danny's got his nose on something. No, he's just investigating it. He's having a good old sniff. Yeah, there's something in there, I think. Come on, dogs, let's go. Good lads. So whatever you're doing today, I hope you have a really good day doing it. Don't know if you can hear the wind, it's so blustery. I can hardly see with my hair, and I've got a hat on to try and keep my hair out my face. I hope you have a really lovely day, whatever it is you're doing today. And just going to see if I can end on a nice view for you. See if I can frame it a bit. There we go, that's quite a nice view. So I hope you have a lovely day today. I am off to the tip and off to drop my glass walk and then doing some work. Hopefully loading more videos up onto YouTube later on today. Have a really lovely day and take care of yourself and stay safe. And I'll either see you on Friday in the Pet Gun Dog group, or I'll see you next Wednesday for the Wednesday walk. Take care. Bye bye.